Look at this. Look at this. See that? Physically grabbing her, applying pressure, pushing her. Look at Brittany Griner.
Explosive new footage has just dropped, showing the exact second Caitlin Clark, the WNBA's golden goose, the ratings queen, the one-woman revival of women's basketball, was taken out in brutal fashion. And what we're watching, it's not just upsetting, it's flat-out disgusting. The WNBA has a serious bullying issue on its hands. And now, its biggest star has become the latest casualty of a league that clearly can't, or won't, protect the very player keeping its spotlight alive.
Finally, a player that's worth paying the money for. Caitlin Clark comes along. What do, WNBA? You beat her up. You treat her like crap. You treat her like she's dog doo-doo, dude. I never seen this in any sport, bro. Not even...
Here's the tea they don't want you sipping. Caitlin Clark didn't just wake up with a quad strain. She didn't twist something stretching or stumble over her shoelaces. No, this wasn't an accident. This was a targeted takedown. She was fouled, shoved, grabbed, and knocked around by players acting more like wrestlers than athletes. And the referees? They stood there, eyes wide open, doing nothing, like they were paid to play blind.
Clark has been moving in slow motion. As good as she's been moving in slow motion. And it is, it makes sense. It genuinely makes sense. All of this stuff. And you've got Scott Agnes, a reporter, saying that the injury has been bothering her since training camp. So she's been playing. So essentially, she was massaging the area and wearing a pad during the Iowa preseason game. They're saying lower leg injury for some reason. Minor quad strains need 2 to 4 weeks of rest, and they can nag you.
On May 26th, 2025, the Indiana Fever dropped the bombshell. Their superstar guard is out for at least 2 weeks with a left quad strain. 2 weeks minimum means missing 4 games if luck's on their side. But let's be real, muscle injuries don't stick to neat schedules. This could drag on for 3 weeks, a month, or even longer. And no one really knows when she'll be back.
Noting that a grade 1 quad strain is 1 to 2 weeks, a grade 2 quad strain is 3 to 6 weeks, and grade 3s would need surgery. This is not like the end of the world of injuries at all. I think what is so dark about this is that Caitlin Clark will definitely be missing a lot of basketball in a short WNBA season. Obviously, the best thing to do is to rest her so that when she does come back, she is fully healed and the injury can't get worse. Though it is hard to measure when these types of injuries are better, I will say having a quadricep injury is much better than having like a calf injury or a hamstring injury. And I have to say that I did notice in the Liberty game, Caitlin Clark's shots were all very short. So it was showing that she wasn't like getting off and she was having a difficult time making those threes, and a lot of explosiveness from those 3-point shots does come from your legs. Her shot was just so obviously off, and for it to be short, it kind of makes a little sense.
While the Fever try to brush this off as just another injury, the new footage tells a different, darker story. The smoking gun shows Clark during the Atlanta Dream game, the one where fans jeered, "You're in Atlanta," like it gave them some kind of home turf edge for their assault. In this video, player after player comes at Clark with hits that would make a linebacker cringe, grabs, pushes, and brutal physical pressure that has nothing to do with basketball and everything to do with intimidation. This wasn't a game. It was a deliberate, systematic attack on the league's biggest star, and it happened in plain sight.
Look at this. Look at how physical they are. Now, granted, Caitlin Clark has been in the weight room this season, but I'm telling you right now, there's only so much your body can take, man. Look at how close Ryan Howard playing her. This is crazy. And this is just one video. I got another one I want to show you guys as well.
But here's where it gets truly shocking. Multiple sources, even fans at the games, say Clark was using heating pads on her quad during matches for weeks, maybe even since preseason. Think about that. The woman who hadn't missed a single game since 2017, who played 185 straight games between Iowa and the WNBA, was literally pushing through pain so intense she needed heating pads just to keep going. And instead of shielding her, instead of calling the fouls that were obvious to everyone, the referees stood by and let her be beaten down night after night, until her body finally gave out.
The commissioner's the worst commissioner in sports. She is horrible. She wants rivalries, this WWE style. Like, nobody wants to see that, Kathy. You're a horrible commissioner. You know, have some dignity and just resign today. You ruined this thing. You ruined a great thing. This could be the first time you don't need the NBA assistants to go in the green, but you're going to go in the red this year because you're an idiot. You're stupid, and the fans don't like this shit. We want to see quality basketball. Nobody's asking for Caitlin Clark to get a handout. We just want to see some fair refereeing, because these referees from Temu and Wayfair, they're garbage, bro. I seen better refereeing at a Pee Wee game, bro, at AAU. They suck. And then on top of that, the players, they're just not likable, man. They're not. That's the problem with the league. They're not likable. Caitlin Clark's like.
If you're enjoying this, don't forget to subscribe. Because here's the harsh truth. The timing of Caitlin Clark's injury couldn't be worse for the WNBA, and honestly, they deserve every bit of the financial pain heading their way. Let's break down the numbers, because numbers don't lie, unlike some WNBA officials.in 2024. Out of 24 WNBA games that pulled in at least 1 million viewers, Caitlin Clark starred in 21 of them. Those 21 games averaged 1.19 million viewers, while the 3 without her barely managed 394,000. This isn't just a gap. It's the chasm between a thriving league and one gasping for relevance. The impact? Immediate. Ticket prices for the eagerly awaited rematch between Clark and Angel Reese have plunged 42%, from $137 to just $80 after the injury news broke. This isn't just a price drop, it's a demand crash, happening right before our eyes. The market is sending a loud message to the WNBA. Clark is the showstopper. Clark is why people tune in. And without her, interest disappears faster than Angel Reese's playoff chances.
Guys, today, if there wasn't any worry going on in the WNBA executive offices, if there was no worry, oh, people aren't going to turn off, oh, people are still going to show up, if that was the thought that they were having up there in WNBA La La Land, well, now might be the time to hit the panic button. 48 hours after news hits that Caitlin Clark is injured and she'll be missing 2 weeks, the market has responded, and the market has told the WNBA, we don't want this. We want her, but we don't want this. What am I talking about? Indiana Fever ticket prices to games over the next 2 weeks have dropped 42% since Caitlin Clark's injury announcement, an average ticket price of $137 all the way down to $80.
Stephen A. Smith nailed it when he said he's keen to see how the ratings hold up without Caitlin Clark over the next 2 weeks. Because if those numbers crash, and they will, it'll lay bare just how much this league depends on one player, the very star they failed to protect. Smith said, if there's a sharp drop, everyone needs to step back and admit that the claims about her being the golden goose were right all along. The latest Clark versus Reese game pulled in 2.7 million viewers, making it the most watched WNBA regular season game in 25 years. At its peak, it hit 3.1 million. Super Bowl level numbers for the league, numbers they haven't seen since the NBC days. Now, the league is about to find out what happens when you take away the one-player fans actually show up to watch.
How big of a blow is this to the W?
We'll find out. We don't know yet, but I'm going to be really, really interested in seeing, Molly, what kind of effect this has on the WNBA's ratings. Because if for some reason there is a precipitous drop off, then everybody needs to stand down and recognize the fact that the speculation or the assertions and assumptions about her being the golden goose is valid.
But here's the real crime. Officiating coach Stephanie White called it egregious, saying the disrespect toward their team right now is unbelievable. She highlighted a shocking 31-point difference in free throws during recent games and stressed that they're not just shooting threes, they're attacking the rim. In other words, every time Clark drives to the basket, she's getting crushed, and the refs are just ignoring it. The final play against the New York Liberty summed up this whole issue perfectly. Natasha Cloud made clear, undeniable contact with Clark on the game's final possession. Contact that would have been called a foul on any other star in any other league. But the referees just stood by and watched Clark get mugged with the game on the line. Clark immediately looked to the officials, shouting in disbelief when no call came. Even her teammates confronted the refs, but all they got was silence. Radio silence from officials who seem to think basketball is a full-contact sport. This isn't just bad officiating. This is selective officiating. It's a pattern of letting Clark take the hits while other players get protected. And now, that pattern has led to an injury that will cost the league millions in viewers, ticket sales, and reputation. Footage from multiple games shows Clark being grabbed, pushed, and dominated in ways far beyond normal basketball contact. Opponents are targeting her specifically because they know the refs won't call it. It's like the league gave everyone a green light to rough up their biggest star. And now Clark's quad strain is the unavoidable fallout.
Anything. This should be a lesson to the league and a lesson to the officiating, because the amount of contact that is allowed without a foul call and the amount of physicality that Caitlin Clark has to battle through being double teamed and triple teamed, and honestly, it's mostly just not being called for these fouls, needs to be assessed. Caitlin Clark is the league's star player, whether you like it or not. It shows in the bottom line. It shows in the revenue. It shows in the viewership numbers. Every which way you turn, it shows. And as the league star player, she should not be bullied around or ragdolled, just pushed around like she is. There is an undeniable disparity in the officiating. I mean, think about the Kobe whistle in the NBA. No one touched him with...
Here's what makes this even more maddening. Clark had been playing through this injury for who knows how long. The heating pad footage proves she was battling quad pain while still suiting up and dominating at an elite level. In her first 4 games of the 2025 season, she averaged 19 points and led the league with 9.3 assists per game, all while practically playing on one good leg. This isn't just toughness. This is superhuman dedication to a league that clearly doesn't value her enough. And let's be real, Clark brings way more than just basketball skills to this league. She's created a phenomenon that goes beyond sports. Her preseason game against Brazil at Iowa pulled in 1.3 million viewers. Numbers only matched by 2 NBA games on ESPN since 2010, both featuring LeBron James. A preseason game, no less. Those are the kind of numbers that change leagues, build new fans, and open corporate wallets. ESPN even made the historic call to broadcast a WNBA preseason game for the first time ever, just because Clark was playing. This season, 41 of the Fever's 44 regular season games are being nationally televised. That's not normal. That's the Caitlin Clark effect. And now, for at least 2 weeks, maybe longer, all that momentum is about to slam into a brick wall.
There is literally footage of Caitlin Clark putting heat compression towards her leg. There is literally footage of her putting heat packs on her leg. There is new footage of her heating up her quad when she's playing. And by the way, people have been at games. I've been getting, if you look like my comment section, I don't read my comment section that much, I'm going to be honest, but some of the times where I have read my comment section, people have genuinely been like, I'm at the game, Caitlin Clark does not look right on the sideline. Caitlin Clark is coming out, she has heat compression on her quad. She was playing injured.